All right, let's talk about the Freedom Seeker's Guide to Selling Knowledge Online. I've talked a little bit about this resource before, and it's one of those things that is currently, I think it's the most comprehensive thing that is going through all the things that we're trying to teach in the program, in coaching, in anything. So I'll try to just go through this. This might be a lengthy video, but it will show you exactly what you need, and then I can expand on whatever I'm going through as I'm going through it so that I can clarify and basically show you the way around this resource. So, don't let the name fool you, by the way, because it could be, I don't remember this. 6 step to discover your authentic superpower and start impacting lives with your passion, no matter your experience level. It's a pretty ballsy title, but I do believe that I put this into 6 steps, and that those 6 steps, if you focus on them, you don't need much more than that. So, cover step by step the practical things that you need to do in order to selling your knowledge online. Or if you're already selling online, you might find value in some of the strategies we lay out, like the lighthouse principle for organic marketing. If you are in the right mental space, meaning that you're actually ready for this, this will be a very helpful tool to you, as it contains tools and exercises beyond just what this ebook will provide. You will find them linked in relevant places of the text, as well as through buttons. This is something that I tried to do as I created it, and they work, but they might be a little confusing, which is why we are doing this walkthrough of it all. These will take you to resources that is stored on a Google Drive, so copy it if you want to edit them. Very important when you download anything, actually, in terms of resources that is hosted on a Google Drive, because many of these things are meant to be filled in, and sometimes when you just go into Google Drive, it might not become obvious at first that you should download them. So some of the resources have that in red text saying that you need to download in order to edit. Others might not. So it's just a good rule to keep in mind whenever you have any resources on a Google Drive, you can download that, and if the creator has made it editable, you just simply click and fill in. As you go through the guide, you might feel overwhelmed, which is completely understandable. We tend to overthink things we don't understand yet. So keep that in mind. If I say anything that might overwhelm you or make you think that you can't do this, disregard that thought completely and know that it's all a journey, and you will learn what you need to learn as you come to it. To fix this, join our free community, the Legacy Forge. This is where on the Discord channel, so you can reach out to us if you have any questions. So choose a product or service to sell. It starts here. Selling online based on your passion. If you're going to sell anything, it pays off to know exactly what to sell. Makes sense, right? Many will overcomplicate this, especially if they're good at what they do, because most people undervalue their skills in terms of how much other people will find them helpful. Have you ever had that happening to you? Where you think that just because you know how to do this, anyone can do this. Everyone knows how to do this because it's so easy. That's a very individual and personal experience of life. Most people will undervalue what they know because they think that everyone else thinks the same thing that they do. But if that was the case, we wouldn't have wars, now would we? Let's not derail. Everyone knows this, so there's no point in even trying, is a very common theme. However, having worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs at all levels of experience, the evidence is clear that you can sell more or less anything, and I mean anything. I've seen weird things in my journey. And if you think that everyone probably knows this, that's then even better. It means that you have so much experience within what you do that you can probably teach just about anyone, and that is where the key is, because if you can teach anything, you can give value to other people. So let's put all of those doubts away and start thinking about exactly what you can sell. Let me emphasize that you should not downplay any knowledge you have based on your beliefs of what is possible. If there are many people doing what you do or what you want to do, it means that there are people wanting to buy. So you need to follow this guide, apply the steps, and actually test your beliefs before giving up on something that could very well change your entire existence. It's also worth mentioning that skills is one thing, experience is another. You might be like me, someone who went through the storms of life and hit rock bottom. This is a good thing. You survived, and you can guide those who find themselves there right now. You can help others by turning your mess into your message and your pain into your platform, or power. I like power. Turn your pain into power. Has a ring to it. So don't underestimate the power you have after surviving hard times. This is a new age, and it allows the black sheep to shine brighter than most others, because we understand what it's like to really struggle in life. It's a gift. That is true. Most people will just victimize themselves because they had gone through something in their past, and because of that, they can't do this or that. And it's a shame. Most people in that mindset will not want to learn or have a genuine curiosity about anything, so they will not gain insights that you gain, because they never went out of the comfort bubble. They never tried to do something that scared them, and because of that, they might be resentful, they might be egotistical, they might have a lack of self-awareness, they might think that everything is happening to them instead of for them, and so they are, in a low vibing place. So there's a lot of things that goes into just having that experience and going through it. You will probably have more empathy, more understanding about other people in those positions, more love, more of a broader way of looking at life, and understanding that if you were to meet something that is resembling that experience from the past, you can actually handle it now because you've gone through it before. There's a lot of things that goes into the benefits and the gifts of having gone through the shit in life that most people seem to not really understand, want to understand, or even care about. So keep that in mind. Let's begin. Start by creating a list of things you know. Easy enough, right? Don't think that you're the only one thinking that it's hard to make a skill inventory. I jumped into that, didn't I? We've all been there, so let me guide you in a little process. Really reflect on these questions, as it might bring you clues to something deeper than what you realized. Number 1, what do you really enjoy doing? If you go through your day, what do you want to do in order to just chill? Just do something to take your mind off things. What do you enjoy? What do you look forward to do when you're doing whatever you have to do? When you can do whatever you want to do? These are important questions. Number 2, what does your browser history look like? It indicates things that you are interested in. So if it's filled with only porn, I would suggest that you go into porn. It's not that simple, but you know what I mean. If you search for something, if you are trying to develop in something, if you have questions about something, if you enjoy something, if you want to learn more, whatever it is, then your browser history, your YouTube channel or your YouTube feed, your Facebook feed, most of the things will have an indication as to what you really care about doing. For me, and this is sad, I have a lot of online business videos and content on both YouTube and Facebook. And whenever it's not online business or coaching or education or whatever, it's mostly spiritual. So there's a lot of things within law of attraction, cosmology, astrology, all of these things that is in nature spiritual, because I want to connect with more of those people. They seem to be more open-minded. Sometimes there are also very scarily closed-minded people in those communities, but sometimes I find a gem and then I develop a friendship because I'm looking for those people. So just keep your awareness up and really notice what you are focused on whenever you're on the computer or your phone. What movies do you like? This also again indicates your interest. Me, I love thinking movies, like survival movies. I like things that make me think. So The Martian, Interstellar. I love shows like Disjointed, and because it has such a powerful message that is not overly obvious to everyone watching the show. I love Silicon Valley, these things, and all of these shows have something in common. First of all, sometimes it requires your thinking, and that indicates that I'm a person who wants to be active in my engagement. Secondly, it's about specific topics. The Interstellar and The Martian are about spaceships and travel and going into the universe, right? And how it is on foreign worlds, and how physics act differently, and how these questions that we really never consider fully are there for our enjoyment, basically. I love to go into those questions. That signifies that I'm probably interested in other things as well when it comes to what I'm doing online. I could be interested in Ram Dass simply because of that fact, because it makes me think more, which is an added chance of me maybe having tried psychedelics. And then you add shows like Disjointed upon that, which is a cannabis activist show, basically. It's a comedy show that is about a weed cannabis dispensary and the different personalities in that shop. So the show presents a lot of socially tabooed topics, and it allows a deeper awareness and insight into how other people think, how other people go about the topic of cannabis and mind-altering substances. So, because of that, I'm probably an activist. I have strong beliefs and values when it comes to plant medicine. And with that, I know even better where to look for other people like me. You know what I'm talking about? Where I'm trying to go with this? When you know what you're interested in, you can find more people of yourself. And you can start to think slightly differently about what you actually are interested in. Why are you interested in it? What do you like about it? When you know that, you start to expand your awareness, and you start to really expand your consciousness towards what is possible and what is waiting outside. Because we are filled with this reality. We are presented a reality that I call AIR, algorithmically imposed reality. That means that most of what we see is dependent on what we did online. So if I am talking about things online, if I'm interacting with content online, the algorithm or the internet will then feed me more of what I'm interested in. Meaning that I'm basically blocking off a lot of other things in my life that I could have been watching, but I'm not conscious enough to really think about what I want to watch. So I'm just taking in things. I'm just taking in whatever the internet is serving me. This goes for YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, so many different things that we all interact with every single day. And that's what we see. When you go into your Facebook, you will see that the stories of other people, they are categorized almost, prioritized when you see them, depending on what you see the most. So it's scary. It's scary, but it's good to be aware of, because then you can trick the system. You can play their game, right? So when you're enjoying free time, what are you most likely to do? Do you go into the woods? Do you go fishing? Do you go on a hike? Do you start with your mechanical work on your car? Do you sit on your computer and game? Do you watch a movie? What kind of movie? Do you hang out with other people? What kind of people? What do you do? Do you drink? Do you read tarot cards? Do you do psychedelic experiences? What do you do? Some people might ice bathe. And because of that one thing, I know that those people probably heard about Wim Hof, which means that those people are probably more likely to be in communities that is around that topic. So, again, think about what you're doing. Be aware of what you actually do when you want to chill. What is a common recurring conversational theme when you speak with friends? For me, this is always about personal development, psychology, the deeper existential questions about life, psychedelics, love, the semantics of death, online business, trying to create your own reality, forging your legacy. All these things that for some people might be boring, or they simply don't have anything to add to the conversation because they're not doing the same things. So instantly, I'm starting to push away people, and I'm attracting more people that is thinking and interested in the things that I am interested in. Quantum physics and epigenetics, not really something that you talk about in a break time thing while you're having a smoke at the factory. Break time thing is a weird thing that I've never said before. But you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not sitting there during my break talking about quantum physics and epigenetics, because when I was there in a factory environment, we're most likely talking about the pay that is about to come, what happens during Christmas, what machinery broke down, all these things about what is happening right now in life that I have to deal with, mostly like problems and shit. Once you go out of that era or that theme of conversation, you will see that your audience will diminish. People don't talk like that often if they don't get interested in it, and then you have a conversation. So, what do people come to you for help with? Whose expert are you? I'm the tech. So you definitely have something that you know better than others because you have been focused on it before through your experience. For me, I was a gamer before, so I have done a lot of gaming, and I've done a lot of reading about gaming, and that led me into technology, and then using computers differently, and then going into coding and programming. Coding and programming being the same thing. But there are always someone that has some experience. My neighbor is a mechanic. I know that he is boss at what he does. My father, if I need any medical advice, he's a paramedic, and he has been so for 30 years, so I know I can call him, and he will know more or less anything that I need to know. Everyone has something. And when you focus on that, there is something called ikigai in Japanese. And I'm not gonna I haven't focused on this enough to know and exactly how to explain this, but it is very simple, kind of. I'm just not sure if it's 4 or 3 or whatever, how many things there are. You want to do something that you want to do, like to do, something that you're good at. Now I'm jumping ahead of myself. Do something that you like to do something that you're good at, do something that you see yourself doing in a long period of time, like something you can really devote yourself for or to. When you do that, when you put these categories together, and again, I'm not sure if this is the entire thing, you will have a little area in the middle where all those circles interlap or interact with each other. That is ikigai, because then you're focused on your purpose, basically. You're focused on what you want to do. We call it SLS, just doing something that is so in flow with your authentic self that it's effortless to do so, but you're still kind of a master at what you do. So other people will look at you being like, whoa, you're really good at that. Wow. That kind of thing. So think about what you really are good at and list that out. And then when you have a list of it, try to prioritize. I think I'm jumping ahead of myself because this is also something from this book, but you know what to do now. What comes easy to you and yet might be harder for others? This is basically what we just talked about. So notice that most of these questions are centered around what you enjoy doing. If you like what you do, you're good at it. It won't feel like a job when you're making a living from it. And believe me, that's a priceless feeling. It's also something that will help you through the days when things are not going as smooth as you'd hoped. Because there are going to be down days, and then you need something to inspire and motivate you to go ahead. This is like the discipline and the accountability. Because when you're doing something for yourself, you have to keep tabs on what you do in order to get a income for yourself. It's not like just getting up and going to work because the boss will pay you if you do so. This is about you being the boss of your own life and then doing the things that you need to do in order to get that income that you actually need. Most people will not be faced with this. And if you have people that is trying to talk you away from doing something that you really want, see about what their life is about. Check out what are they doing that makes them able to give you advice. Because just a few days ago, I was heckled. I was basically called out in my own community where he said that the entire vibe of the community had fallen after I took over. And I was like, what took over? What is this guy all about? What is he doing? And then I checked it out. Back in the day, I was known as Bob Hayes when I started that community, or when I got into it. And Bob Hayes became the admin in the eyes of many people. Many didn't realize that I was Bob Hayes. And whenever I tried to say anything that was slightly off topic from the group, like trying to make an income based on that group that I had worked so hard to create or build, then I was called out and torn down. It didn't take long for me to realize that the people that did that was on social aid. They were getting disability checks from the government, not having to do anything in life. And here I am trying to survive, having said no to the government, having said that I'm not going to take your invisible prison, keep that for yourself. I will create my own legacy. I will create my own future. When I did that, I had to shift my entire reality, and I've been doing this for a very long time now. Most people will never be able to see what that is really like. And that's why I asked in the beginning, are you truly ready for this? Because it means that you have to give up things that is comfortable, things that is given. You know, a comfortable lifestyle that is not even fought for. You have to give up that. You have to be able to do what you want to do in a way that makes you able to create your own fortune. In those words, I guess. It requires a completely different way of thinking. And because of that, be aware. Because there is no point in you trying to do anything that it will take you off your path if the advice comes from people who have no idea what that path is all about. Yeah. Those will also come if you go all in on this journey. Yeah. Something that will help you through the days when you're not. Yeah. So it will basically just help you with the discipline and getting out of bed. Also having a goal. We're going to talk about that too in this resource, and no, we need to jump ahead. Use the skill inventory tool on the next page to get some stuff down on paper. And hey, before you start thinking, I'll just read through this and then I will do the work, don't. In our age, information is a dime a dozen. And the only ones that succeed are the ones that actually do the work. So learn from my year-long procrastination, will ya? Have you ever bought something that wasn't created first? Yeah. Didn't think so? So do the work, list things out, and then, only then, head to the next section of this guide. That will be kind of hard, given how we're now going through this, but I hope that I will be able to show you exactly how to do this, and then you'll be able to do that without having to go through this entire thing and doing things step by step. I still want you to do that, but once you've watched this video, it will be easier to do the things, just do the things, you know, instead of going through the book and then trying to figure out what should I do now. But I hope that you have taken notes. I hope that right now you're sitting there with a pen and paper and you're writing down important topics that is enlightening you. Because if you have something that you learn from this video, write them down so that you can go back and focus on them. Go back and hone something of an experience in that skill. Ooh, sorry. So here we are, the skill inventory, or the skill inventory. You're asked to share some value based on something you know. And you'll present this for a duration of 15 to 20 minutes, based on your experience, skills, and insights from your life. And following the last page, what can you talk and riff about without the need of research? Pretty simple question, actually. What if I was to ask you something, what would be the thing that is most likely for you to just talk about? Something that you know a lot about, something that you can have an actual conversation and teach things about. Try to list down as many of those as you can, and then you'll have good pointers as you're creating stuff in the future, because then you know where to dive and how to structure that, because if you can't structure your knowledge and package it, there is no real point, right? So we're going to talk about that as well as we go through this. If you struggle with this, don't overthink it. Do you know Pokemon? If I was to ask you about Drowsy, would you be able to share thoughts on that? See, I know that because I have kids, and we watch a lot of Pokemon. Simply list things you like to talk about, and that's it. And if you struggle, here's a pro tip. Get in front of a camera, start talking about stuff you like to do. Keep that intention, and odds are that you will start ranting about something you really enjoy and care about. Something you love. Something you can share value on. Also, camera training is virtual gold in this age. And you're watching this because you're part of the 100-day challenge, I believe. And if you're not, well, you should definitely become a member of the 100-day challenge, because this is one thing, the tribe is another. But if you are a member, you know that you should be creating videos, and you should share your videos and thoughts, and you should really go into sharing who you are and finding your authentic self. Basically, forge who you are, truly. So, sort your stuff. Now I want you to prioritize the topics you've uncovered. List them out from 1 to 10, 1 being it kind of bores me, 10 being I love this more than anything. And one more thing to add about this, the topic you end up with needs to be something you see yourself doing for a long time. Is it something that solves a problem for people who don't have this knowledge? And if so, how big of a problem does it solve? Because if you didn't know this today, yet you knew the benefits it provided in your life, would you pay someone to learn it? So this is back in the day. If you knew that you can get what you have today from what you know, you're basically talking to your 10-year younger self or 5-year younger self. And you know something that you need to share with your younger self. Knowing, as your younger self, that the knowledge that you have will provide massive changes in your life, the insights that you can provide, would your younger self pay for it? And how much would that be worth? Would you be able to go through some pain that you might not otherwise have had to go through? Would you still be able to teach the lessons? Because this is also very important. You can't teach people a lot of things from your life. If you went through shit in the past, intellectually teaching other people to understand the same things that you understood from going through that shit is almost impossible because you felt that on your body. And because of that, you have a unique association to that specific insight. Now you can share how to avoid it or how to best deal with it when someone gets into it, but you cannot ever teach them what you learned in a way where they're going to feel it and understand on that integral level. If you can, then my hats are off for you, because that is a superpower unlike anything. That's why coaching is so important, to make them do what they need to do in order to feel what they need to feel so they can understand what they have to understand about themselves. All right? So when you're thinking about things that you want to talk about and teach, try to do it in a practical way. When you're listing out things, try to make the things that you talk about like headlines, like how to do X, how to sell knowledge online, for instance. It's something that I learned from my journey. And it's something that you don't need to really emotionally understand. You can practically do it, and then you have money online. So it's a very practical solution to a very practical question, which is how do I sell online to make money online? And that's how you should go through everything. If you can package it up where something has a very clear start and finish, like I don't know how to swim, now I know how to swim. Between those 2 points, there is how do I swim? And that's where your knowledge comes in. First, you need to do that, then that, then that, then that, then that, and then you should be able to swim with practice. We're going to talk about that as well in a resource that we call How to Structure Anything 2.0. I know. Let's see. Context matters. You can sell anything online, but there's a vast difference in selling knowledge on how to knit a sweater for cats and how to rewire your brain for success and cure depression. Because those are very specific, very easy to see what that is, and also the difference in the topics. It makes a difference in how much you can actually earn from this. Although, people like to knit and people like sweaters and people like cats. So depending on you finding the ideal people for this, you can probably do equally as good. But there is a difference. One has pain attached to it that is more likely to motivate people to pay for it than the other, unless you really love cats and their sweaters. You see, some people are searching for answers in their life, and how to knit a cat sweater is not really going to provide the solution. When people try to get out of a painful situation or get towards something they really love, and those are the 2 things, just the 2 main things that you should really focus on. People are either trying to do something different that will add pleasure or something positive in their life, or they're trying to escape what is negative and painful in their life. And this could be anything. It's so easy to get derailed on this, but people are different. Some people will pay something for something and a lot for another, or vice versa. You might pay $20 for an iPhone case, someone might pay $200,000 for an iPhone case. So don't underestimate the problem and the solution and whatever it is that you're trying to focus on. I personally love to motivate and inspire people when I'm trying to make them do something that is going to end in a sale for me. Some people like to say, well, not right now, the world is going to shit. Everything is painful. You know you're struggling, and then finding those pain points, like the financials being horrible. I'm broke. I'm not having a girlfriend in my life. I want more love. All those things, and they just twist the knife until the pain is so unbearable that the person wants to just get away from the pain. That's not how I like to do it. You can also do the same thing in inspiring people by saying that you have this problem. Well, here's the solution. And if you want to know more about this solution, here's how you can find me. Because I can help you, definitely. You know that now because I just helped you with the solution I just posted. You know? By helping people, in order to help people, you actually help people. It's all about that. It's all about just helping people. Nothing more. Listen to a person. Share what you know, if applicable. And trust me. That's it. Be a decent human being, and you can have the life you want. It's weird. It's so simple. So, let's talk about your topic to the test. Let's put your topic to the test. Is it a problem that is completely gone when you fix it? For instance, if I have a leak in my house, I call a plumber, and the leak is now gone. If, on the other hand, I suffer from something like a lack of motivation to do something important in my life, I might need more help down the line. This is called upsell. It's called an evergreen. It's called recurring revenue. It's so many things. It's more likely for you to achieve success and be able to grow and scale if you have something that you can continuously give to your clients, something that you can add to it, like an education thing. Right, this right here, what you're watching right now, is a step in that evolution. This video can be sold, and many people do so. I have no idea if I'm going to sell it, but this is how it's done. I'm giving you information that is going to help you on your path. If I can continue to do that, then it's a win-win. If I was to give you one sentence that would just solve your problems forever, I might have a hard time trying to grow a business, to try to make an income that is going to support myself in order to support you. So you have to think about the long term and how to create sustainable ways of earning money online. And we're going to talk a lot about that as well, but these are some very important principles that you should have as you go through. You want to see if you can fit your topic within what we call an evergreen market, meaning that the problem will not fade away or fade out with the seasons. Something that could be sold all year around and have the possibility for value to be added to it for repeat customers. Make sense? If not, don't worry, you'll be given more resources as we progress. I'm saying it as I'm going. This is an evergreen problem. This is something that I can sell all year round. Doesn't matter if it's Black Friday, doesn't matter if it's Christmas or Halloween. I can sell this because it's a problem that many people have all the time, and it continuously comes with more people with that problem. Especially now with all that information overload and stuff. Let's continue. Finalizing your rough idea. If you've thought about the general topic of what you want to sell, you need to come up with content, or the actual knowledge you'll share. But how do I do that, Tor? I hear in the distance. Well, we use a system, like most other things in life. There are tools for literally anything, and once you start using these tools, your life will change. Let me introduce one of the most important ones right now. There are many names for this, and online you'll find that people love to put fancy names on things to make it sound more exclusive. So let me introduce the Legacy Forging Outline System 2.0, or simply how to structure anything. Now, I'm not sure if this works. It does. Look at all those tabs. Horrible. Horrible. But this is what you have access to. It's going through how to structure anything. and the overall way of doing so. So let's just cover it really quickly, even though this resource will explain what to do. You're going from something and you're arriving at something. So here we have used selling online as the core thing that we're going to do. And then in between all of these things, in between the from and the to, we have the steps that we need to have in place in order for that to happen. I need to have advanced marketing. I don't need to, but if I was to do this in this way, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have advanced marketing, analytics, traffic, automation, marketing message, marketing pages, fundamental pages, accept payments, and set up a website. Seems like a lot of things, but we start at one, setting up the website. So to have no website and have a website, I need to find a domain. I need to access a site. I need to install the WordPress. I need to install a builder, I need to have a theme, and I need to have a homepage. All of a sudden, when I've done these things, and I can expand upon these as well, I will have a website when I'm done. When I have a website, I will then be one step ahead at selling something online and creating the freedom that I desire. So it's very self-explanatory, actually. You just have to see your goal, look at your end goal, and then think, what do I need to do in order to achieve this? What steps do I need to make in order to have this goal that I desire? And then at each thing, you keep on deconstructing it until you have something that is easily followable. I know how hard it is to create these because I have yet to create a fully fledged now to goal system or a milestone system. I have all my things I'm doing all the time and I have no structure on it. I just know what I have to do. But if I really dedicate myself, now that I have more time, I can sit down dates, times, milestones on each and every step of the journey to get to where I need to go. And because of that, I can just get up, follow the blueprint that I have created, and then just go on to follow the map. And then inevitably you will reach your goal if you have done so diligently. Let's see. Let's jump back into our presentation. So when you have gone through the exercise and actually done the work, speaking to myself, you can simply start filling out a Google Doc. You start on a high level, like chapters, steps, or modules. Module being the individual pieces of a course, for instance. Module 1, how to X. Module 2, how to use X for blah, blah, blah. Just, different modules are different pieces of content or pieces or steps for the journey. And then fill those in one by one. The resource will explain this better. So I didn't really read the resource, but it should be pretty well explained. On the next page, you will find a basic outline for how this could look. In fact, the exact process that created... Yes, it's the exact process that created what you're reading right now. I created this book based on that. Because how do I sell things online? Well, then I need to have steps. How many steps do I need? Well, I figured out I needed 6 in order to make my point. And we're now going through those. Formatting your idea. This is how you can format a Google Doc with your idea so that you can start putting your thoughts down on paper and get to helping people. And here we go. You see, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just gets started on putting your knowledge out on a piece of virtual paper, and then when the content is done, you can start styling it and making it all pretty like if you want. Like this. It's literally just a Google slide. Created and then saved as a PDF. I'll also show you how to do those as we progress. If you want a step-by-step mini course on how to create a good-looking value asset, ask in the Legacy Forge. See, it seems like I've seen the future because I'm talking about things and then I have already written down the things that I'm coming up with that should have been mentioned. Very interesting. There are so many others out there doing the same thing, I won't even bother. You are unique, but you're not unique in this thought specifically. Don't fool yourself thinking that more people doing the same thing is a bad thing. It's the exact opposite, because that means that there is a market out there waiting for you. People buy people, not programs. Remember that. There are many things that is the same out there, but people buy the people or the brand, not the thing. If they trust you, if they like you, hell, if you can solve their problem, that is all that matters. So do some research, use Google, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, and any other resource that you can think of. Search for words and phrases that is tied to your thing, see what pops up. And on the next page, you will be presented with the avatar profile. Within that resource, you can also get access to our avatar audit, which will help you in this task. From what you see, are there any clear patterns? Is there something that you can add to what's currently in the market? Something that you do differently? Something you disagree with? If you see these things, that is amazing. But if you don't, simply see if you can model what's already successful. Meaning that if you have someone that inspires you, what are they doing? And how can you do the same thing? This is called funnel hacking, and it is an incredible effective strategy as it simply models what already works. Literally document what your competitors are doing and see where you can deliver a better result. You simply being your authentic self is already going to set you apart from your competition, but anything more than that is good stuff. I like to actually buy some of my competitors' stuff and then see what they do, not what they say. What is the experience like? Where are you taken? What does the pages you get sent to look like and feel like? Do you like them? And so on. So document it. Take screenshots, take notes, analyze. It will be worth it. Just how many steps does it take from you to see an ad and then buying your product that you saw in the ad? Because all these things will give you very great pointers as you are creating your own stuff. My stuff is for everyone, so I don't want to limit myself. Yeah. We've all been there. We want to help as many people as we can, but here's the sad truth when we're trying to do that. Everyone has different opinions, values, tastes, and needs. So when you have something specific that you want to serve to the entire galaxy, you're ending up with serving nobody because it's not a good fit for most. So go deep to go broad. This is where we niche down. We pick one group of people and we serve them. Once we have served enough to make a name for ourselves, we can start thinking bigger. But if you want to have any results, you want to focus on a specific person in your niche audience. You'll create an avatar profile where you add a picture, name, age, occupation, and so on, and really create a life around this one profile. This person will have specific needs and thoughts that are not limited to this person in particular, meaning as soon as you start talking to this one person, more people with the same thoughts, needs, and problems will show up. Make sense? If you need some guidance creating an avatar, you can use our free avatar profile to get you going. Download it in order to type in the document. So I'm going to show you here. The avatar profile is basically how to create a person, literally. You read this, and here you have things that you can fill in. You don't have to use this booklet because you can just download it and just write in these things. But once you have filled it out, you should have a pretty decent idea of who you want to help. For instance, if you struggle with finding a niche or an avatar, then simply think about who you were before you found the solution. If you have been on this journey for 4 years now, then who are you? What were you like 4.5 years ago or 5 years ago, just before you got the solution you have today? Most of the time, your niche and your avatar is you in the past. So don't overthink it. You have something that you in the past will have great benefit from, and there are many people thinking the same things that you thought about back in the day. Speaking from experience, do not get completely stuck on this. A niche is simply people with the same goals, situations, and/or challenges. Struggling online entrepreneurs like coaches, sleep-deprived mechanics, stressed-out dentists, and so on. A group of people with a problem, nothing more, nothing less. And I am very much more about trying to get them on the values and how they see the world instead of their occupational label. You know, mechanics and dentists and entrepreneurs, coaches, and all that stuff, great. But there are people with the same mindset and the same thoughts in any group. A dentist can get along with a quantum physicist because they have interest in the same topic. So focus on the topics and the values of the person who needs your service. What did you get interested in? Your website is the center for digital ecosystem. Like a brick and mortar location, the experience matters once a customer enters, just as much as the perception they have of you before they walk through the door. I've been very much about you have to have a website. Like you need a website in order to really show who you are. But it's not really the case, because you can still talk to people through an email or face-to-face or whatever. And as long as you know how to deliver your service, you're good. But having a website in our day and age is a huge benefit, because everyone uses the internet today. And you being online and present and visible is going to help you a long way, as well as the people searching for your help. Because you can automate a website. You have 24 hours a day, and I can promise you, you will start to cherish those 24 hours more and more and more and more. And if you don't have a website with automations and stuff, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to put up the automations, but you have to be able to maximize your time and leverage your value, because you want to help a lot of people, right? But you want to live as well. You will be fed up with the phone or the computer if you're always doing the same thing on it. Trust me. So, this is where people freak out. I'm not techie. I may as well give up right now. Listen, everyone had to learn this at some point. Back in the day, you had to know HTML, CSS, and a whole bunch of other programming skills just to pull off a website. These days, you buy a domain hosting, as we easily show here, and that is a resource from the FML Project's website, where I have already answered the question. You see where I'm going with this? I can do the work once and then have it automated, simply by clicking a link. And those things are really, really important to write down and remember. You can automate everything. If your imagination can conceive of it, you can create it. But you might need to find help. I found someone in Pakistan who is a full-fledged developer, can create anything from my mind. But I am limited if I'm trying to do that myself. So reach out if you need to know how to do these things. How do I make my time more valuable? More efficient? I'm sorry, I'm getting a little sick, so squeeze my health. So, when you have a domain and hosting, you install WordPress. If you like to own all of your shit to not be held hostage by a platform, that is. Because most of these platforms cost €100 per month just to be able to use some other person's tool, when you can actually create all this yourself on your website. And install a few plugins, like a drag and drop builder, where you see your work as you literally drag and drop stuff. You can get all in-house funnel packages, like the ones the FML project provides. So if you are a member of the challenge already, then if I haven't created a resource already, you just ask, and you will have unlimited lifetime licenses for a lot of things that will cost a lot of money. I don't know how many tens of thousands of euros I have bought in plugins and different licenses over the years, because I needed it at the moment. And once I paid 2,000 euros, I was able to then not worry about that anymore. And now I am in a position where I can actually help other people on their journey, giving them a start package on creating a website. So, win-win. Just reach out if there's no automation or if you haven't seen it already. Long story short, a website should not be what stops you. And in 2022, this magnificent digital age of ours, every person who are serious about their future needs a website, in my humble opinion. Yes, I believe so. But you can do it without it, but I strongly recommend you get a website. It's $10 a year for a domain. I mean, it's not. If you can't invest in that, you should come back when you're ready. You can use Google, YouTube, or simply reach out to someone who has done it before. After having done this for over a decade, I'm not kidding you when I say that a website can be up and running in hours, depending on complexity, of course. So no excuses. Again, you have an amazing asset in the Legacy Forge that I recommend you use a lot. Talk to people who are in the Legacy Forge. Trust me, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with the most. And the Legacy Forge is filled with Legacy Forgers. So, you get my point. Today, it's not about get the traffic. It's about get the targeted and relevant traffic. Yes. Don't shoot for all. Don't use a shotgun when you can use a sniper. Without traffic, there are no sales. Without sales, there is no business. So essentially, it all comes down to sales. Be that high ticket, like expensive, or low ticket, inexpensive. A high ticket, expensive starts at about 2,000 or 3,000 euros, just so you have a reference point. Low ticket is anything from free, it's not free, 5 euros up until 1997, I guess. So just know that if you try to sell 1,100 euro packages, it's a lot harder and it requires the same effort, basically, as it would to sell one 10,000. Hold on, 100,000. My math is off. My brain is not working. But selling 1,000 euro packages to make 1 million is a lot easier than selling a product that is worth $2. You get the point. But to get sales, you need traffic, and there is a plethora of ways to do this. Free organic traffic. That's one I like the most, but it's just because I get way more targeted people when I do it organically. Before you start spending money on ads and everything else that gurus and experts might tell you to do, you should validate your offer. Meaning you should know that people actually want to pay for what you sell. You can do this by selling it to people for free, using your current online presence like your Facebook profile, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever else you have. But how, I hear you ask? You're solving a problem, so you will go to where the people with those problems hang out. In a resource I gave you a little ways back, the avatar audit, I had you look for where your avatar hangs out. This is vitally important and will continue to evolve in line with platforms and technology. But as of me writing this ebook, my favorite, quickest place is Facebook. Simply because you can search for a group, you can search for a community, and then voila. And then remembering that there are actually people behind those profiles. Think what you will about the most toxic and censored social media platform online. More or less everyone is still on Facebook. On the next page, I will outline the lighthouse effect, which is one of my favorite methods of getting traffic. As there are so many different methods on organic marketing and traffic, and if you want to know more than what we provide in this ebook, reach out in the Legacy Forge. So, the lighthouse effect. The ocean holds many ships and boats. Some are skilled in a storm, others are not. Your only job is to stand firm and let those who need you come to you. Optimize your presence. First of all, if you're selling online, it doesn't make much sense if nobody knows that you're in business. So first things first, head over to my Facebook profile and you'll see what I mean. As you can see, my cover image is slightly different than what you might see elsewhere. Of course, buttons are useless on Facebook, but when they click, they will see a description of that cover image, where I have written something about what I do and what people can expect. At the bottom, there's a CTA, a call to action, leading them to a page I want them to see. So if we just click this link, you will see my cover. And here it says, this is a horrible example because right now this is not really clearly visible. But when you click it, you can see here that I have texts leading down to challenge.theseppola.com, the one you're watching right now. So trying to lead people organically to a place where I want them to gain value. But how to get people to the Facebook or any profile? I'm glad you asked. You see, I search for Facebook groups within my niche. People who struggle with a problem I solve. When I find a good group, I get active so that people see me. I answer questions I know how to answer in depth, meaning detailed paragraphs of text that actually solves the problem they communicated as good as I can. Not everyone will read them, but those who do will naturally click the profile for the person that just gave value, and voila, they're in my world. The comment will also stay there, so if others heart, like, and comment on it, it will stay visible, acting like a lighthouse for those in need. The strategy is simple, yet effective. You provide value to the person who needs it, and you place your links and other CTAs in their path. You're not saying buy my shit because I'm amazeballs. You're actually helping them, making them seek you out. Because if you see someone who can solve your issue, you will naturally click to learn more about them. That's just how human nature works. So then we drive traffic to our stuff. Social media is about sociology, and psychology more than technology. Yeah, there are people on those platforms. Paid traffic is a pretty straightforward word, yet one of the bumpiest rides you will encounter. The principle is simple enough. You pay a platform, be that Facebook, Google, or any of the available platforms out there. And try to focus on one though. Master one, and then when you can automate or delegate, you can start looking into other platforms. Your ROI, or return on investment, or ROAS, return on ad spend, will depend on many things, mostly regarding the relevance of your ad to the target audience. If you over-target, meaning you tell the platform to look for a person with 73 different interests, it will get expensive because you told it to look for a unicorn in hell. If you advertising, for example, cars in the middle of the Amazonian jungle, same thing, you will have less reach. I won't go into the many details of paid advertisement in this ebook because it goes well beyond the scope, but know this. Your technical targeting, be that age, title, location, etc., matters way less than your ability to connect to the emotions and situations of your target audience. Read that again. Your technical targeting, age, title, location, and other labels matters way less than your ability to connect to the emotions and situations of your target audience. There is people out there struggling with a certain thing that you can solve. And that's it. This means that a story which explains the situation that the target audience face in a way that makes them see that you understand them and are able to help matter way more than an ad saying 50% off for the next 2 weeks, buy now. Story matters. This has been something that we have been doing since the age of men. Mankind came and we started to use story when we were around the campfire. Stories on the cave walls. Storytelling is so freaking important. We are all human beings. We're basically dealing with people, real human beings, and many marketers forget that. In the FML project, we pride ourselves in focusing way more on the emotional states and frequencies that people deal with, as authenticity and a genuine desire to help goes further than simply asking for credit card information. Follow the love, basically. Create content that teaches. You can't give up. You need to be consistently awesome. So converting visitors into customers and the final push. It has been a journey so far, hasn't it? Well, now that we are at the finish line, or the start of your new adventure. Now we're at the finish line or the start of your new adventure. To convert visitors into paying customers, you need to know what you want to offer them. With the How to Structure Anything tool giving you the first step, you can map out funnels, customer journeys, or anything you want. Basically taking out the trash if you need to. Our offer creator will also help you create your actual offer. Now, this is probably something that I have to put more work into, but it should give you a little idea. You put in your name and stuff, and then basically start brainstorming. Like it's going to ask you questions to what you should program, what you should package, your program that you should package. And after it, if I don't remember wrong, you should be sent a PDF that shows you exactly what to do, like just your outline, because you don't need more. You need to go through those questions to basically get an idea of what you want to sell, and then use that as a reference when you create it. And also just reach out, because as I said, I have to put in some work in that. It can still become better and more clear. Selling a low-ticket product or service requires little more than a plugin called WooCommerce. YouTube will serve you on how to install it if you can't find a resource on the Legacy Forge. You add a product, fill in price and other details, slap it on a page, and make sure that your valuable content leads to it. That's literally it. You need a landing page. And there are many ways of doing this. There will be more resources on specifically how to create landing pages and what tools to use and all that stuff. But it's simply about putting your product out there. Because if you haven't put it out there, then how can people find it? If, however, you want to sell things beyond 2,000 euros or dollars, I would recommend you sign up for Calendly. It's a free booking platform where you can enable people to book calls with you. In these cases, you would offer interested people your booking link through private messages, emails, funnels. We have other resources on this specifically in the Forge. In these cases, you need to know what to sell and be confident in your own worth, having sales calls, and so on. It's a much more profitable way of selling online, but it requires commitment and a different mindset. The bottom line is, continue to add value to those who have shown interest in what you offer, and serve them to the point of them asking how to work with you. The best way to help people is to help people. And speaking from experience, when you do that long enough, people will notice. If you want them to think, if they are giving this much value for free, then what the hell would paying them look like? It's a powerful thing. You just help people. Conclusion. Thank you for the time you've honored me with. The content of this ebook should be more than enough to get you set on your way. Knowing me, I will continue to add value and content to it, because my aim is that it will be as close to a plug-and-play playbook as possible. Remember, in order to sell online, you don't need a whole lot. You need to know what you're selling. That way it's easier to communicate it to those in need. You need to know how or who you're selling it to. That way, you will resonate with them, with what you offer. That way, they will resonate with what you offer and will more likely raise their hand when you offer your help. You need to know how you're selling it and be crystal clear in how you communicate that value. Setting up a website and automations is always going to be my #1 recommendation, even though you don't really need it to be clear on the first 2 steps. You don't really need it if you're clear on the first 2 steps. You need to believe that you have value to give others, and you do. Ever since you began learning about your passion, you've learned way more than those just starting out. You simply need to be 1 chapter ahead of them. I wish you all the best of fortune, my friend, and reach out in the Legacy Forge if we can help you in any way. Also, one more thing on the whole point of helping people and building things, a website and all that stuff. Because selling one-off products is one thing, but selling recurring things is another. And to do that, it's best to create a community. Creating a movement of people. A group that is about you. Your values. Your stuff. Like-minded souls. A tribe. Because when you do that, you will have word of mouth spreading. You will have more accountability. You will be able to see things clearer because you're not trying to solve the same problems from the same mind that created them. There's so much that goes into a tribe. And I can just damn near guarantee you that if you have the right values in this, you cannot go wrong. Sure, there are some automations to make that experience better for the actual user or the actual like-minded person, but you work with them to find that out, to figure out what works best in your case. It doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to get started, and that's where most people just don't. With that, I hope this was valuable. If you're not a part of the channel or the challenge yet, go to challenge.theseppola.com and join it. Or just head over to thelegacyforge.com. You're not going to get the same amount or quality of value in the free version of the tribe, but still, you can meet like-minded people, grow your network, and be held accountable if you actually dedicate yourself. Because I have this theory. You have to sell in order to make money today if you don't get money from anywhere else. The thing is, many people will say that I want to give this for free. That's cool. I admire you for that. But people will value what they pay for. And if you have given something for free, I can damn near guarantee you that if you had paid $10,000 of that in the past and you simply gave that to someone else for free, you will have 10,000% more chance of actually doing what you need to do with the content that you shared, because you invested not only in the content, but in yourself. You took a chance to go into the uncomfortable area of life, to invest money in another person to solve a problem that you have. And because of that, there are two very distinct, different people. There are the free people. They will always want the free thing. They will always be there for the freebie, and they will never do shit about it. These are the people that will take things for granted. They will think that the life is happening to them and not for them. They will have disability checks coming in every month, and they will have a completely different way of looking at your growth, or growth in general. And then you have number two, the people that actually invest in themselves enough to go on a journey that is unlike things that they've done before. They will dedicate themselves. They will really engage in the content, and they will really want to learn, because now they have that attachment. They have invested. They are emotionally attached to the outcome of whatever they invested in. I have downloaded hundreds of courses that is usually sold for tens of thousands of euros. And I've gotten more results from the things that I've paid 500 euros for than those. And the content might have been the same, or even better in the free ones, but I was not invested enough to really care about that. So it just became a waste of space on my hard drives. But the things I paid for, I paid attention to. If you pay attention. So remember that. If you have any quarrels of selling your knowledge to other people because you want to give it for free, cool, you can still do that. But you need to sell in order to really help the person, because they need to invest in themselves in order to get the results. Which is where the paradox comes in. Or not even paradox, but there is a very weird thing going on here. I can have more hassle with someone who pays me 100 euros than what I have if someone pays me 100,000 euros. Because the person who pays 100,000 euros will be coming to me for a very specific thing that they know I can help with. The person who pays 100 euros will look for everything that is not given and want to have so much more than what they paid for, because they are worth it in their mind. To have everything, your time, your resources, maybe even a refund. But the people who pay the most demands the least. This is huge insights that will only become truly visible when you try it. When you have sold something for 200 and you have sold something for 2,000 or 20,000. When that happens, you will see the world differently, because all of a sudden things don't make sense anymore. And then you start wondering what else doesn't make sense. So just remember that. You can get access to challenge.theseppola.com, or the challenge, the 100 challenge, for a low sum. Even 1,000 euros is low. 49 euros a month is stupid. But I know it's something. It's a start. But I want you to know that if you're not dedicated, no program in the world can help you. Nothing, because it comes from you. You have to be ready for it. And in that case, it helps to have a tribe who can really push you when it needs. So I hope that this video has been valuable and it has helped you in any way. If it did, share it. Share it all over the place. This is going to provide sales for the challenge. But that's not the aim of this. This is for you to realize that you have more in life that you can do and give you the tools to actually do them. You should be able to do all of the things you want just based on what you've seen in this video so far. But I also know that we tend to overcomplicate things, and we tend to want to know more about something when in reality all we need to do is start doing things. In reality, we just need to start helping people, not educate ourselves to the point where we feel ready, because that's not going to happen. Believe me, you're never going to be ready to go into the uncomfortable parts of life. You need to really want to do things differently and test yourself and fail. Get the experience. And then, I promise you, your life will change. You can start with ice bathing. Yeah, no shit. Okay, have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care of your freaking family. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join us at the Legacy Forge. Love ya.